How's it going, traders? It's Papa Wall Street back with another weekend review. Today we're going to look at my top 12 charts going into next week, along with some previous triggers. And just make sure to hit that like and subscribe button below so you can get these actionable trade ideas as soon as they come out. And if you can, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about these videos. If you feel that I'm talking too slow, you could watch this at 1.25 or 1.5 speed. Well, let's just dig into the charts then, right? So happy Easter to those who are celebrating. It is Sunday, April 17th. And first chart up is going to be American Airlines, ticker AAL. As you can see, let me grab my little tool here. We're coming up into that 200 SMA. We did break over on Wednesday, and closed on top of my trigger on Friday. Friday when the market was closed. So I'm going to mess up my days here. So Friday we closed on top of this trigger. So going to be watching for a break and hold over 1939. That clears our 200 SMA, which is this red line, and also clears that 50% Fibonacci retracement. Just have to watch into 2088. That's going to be our 618 retracement from this prior swing high to this swing low right here. And you can see there's a bit of supply up here as well. So it's going to have to churn through supply a little bit. But I think once we're over around $23, then the chances that we come up and test 26, these previous highs, are much better. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for so far on American Airlines. Next up is ABR. And for this one, yep, we're right on top. We're actually holding over. We closed over my trigger 1753. My trigger is going to be 1751. RSI broke out on 50. We've got a slingshot squeeze setting up. We've got a wedge breakout on Wednesday, continuation on Thursday. So this is looking pretty good. Now, one thing we have to watch out, we are stuck in between the 50 and 200 SMA. Again, the 50 being in blue, 200 SMA being in red. We had a death cross back here. We have a flattening out of 50, a flat 200. And, you know, we can take a trade up to the 200, but I would expect some resistance here. So if you do wind up taking this trigger, just be careful. Make sure you're tightening your stop losses up into the trigger, or excuse me, into the 200 SMA. But also keep in mind that, you know, maybe one thing you could do if you wanted to be a little more conservative, don't take the trigger through 1751. Wait till that test and breakout and retest of the 200 SMA. That might be, you know, just a more conservative way to take the trade. But otherwise, it still looks pretty good. Next up is AFL. This is Aflac. So tracking a potential cup and handle here. No trade alert just yet. We just went into a TTM squeeze on Tuesday, and we are holding in a bullish range over 50. Ideally, I want to see a daily close over 66.19, but you have to watch. There are some candles above that level here in this yellow zone. So it looks pretty good over 66.19, but I'm going to just watch it this week and see if we do get that trigger. And if it looks pretty good, if we're getting some pre-market volume or maybe some kind of news, you know, I'll take a look at it. The other thing I want you all to keep in mind, we are entering earnings season again. So banks started to report on Thursday. They'll continue to report this coming early week. So I'll try and note as best as I can, you know, any of these names that I go over when their earnings reports are going to be. But of course, please do your own due diligence as well. Next up is AU. I believe this is a gold ticker. And you can see we have a nice slingshot squeeze. We're sitting right on top of 50 RSI. We had a beautiful golden cross right here, rising 50 SMA. We have a falling wedge or a bull pennant coming right into that 50 SMA. So if this 50 holds and we get that break over the pennant, then this is a pretty good trade to take up to 26.77, which is our prior high. And then we have 30.09 and 34.32 to the upside. So keeping a close eye on AU. If again, if I see some nice pre-market volume and I see, you know, it looks like an interesting trade, I'll put out a specific trade idea for this. But otherwise, it's on my watch list for this week. Next up is CMG. We're going to revisit this. I did have a trade alert for 1610, back on 320, and you could see we struggled at that area. We back tested the 50 SMA as this blue line, and now we're starting to move higher again. So, what really excited me about this trade was this bullish divergence that I caught, but it just never came to fruition. However, the bullish divergence, we're still getting a higher high and a higher low and another higher low on RSI. So this is still looking really good. I would just keep a close eye on 1610. We get that daily close over 1610. I think this trade is pretty good to take. Keep in mind we are back in a TTM squeeze here, so let's see if we get potentially this firing off this coming week. Next one up is DVN. This is a name I've been seeing a lot. Came in back tested the 50 SMA here. Came in back tested the previous highs at 63.22. Came back, tried to test that 50 SMA and bounced again. So possible little cup and handle here. And we're testing this 63.22. Now keep in mind this is a 2618 extension. So if we get a break and hold over this level, then my natural inclination is to think 73.80 will be the next target to the upside. So back testing 50 on RSI. We're going back into a TTM squeeze. So it's looking pretty good. I might put out a trade alert on that this week. So let's keep an eye on DVN. Next up is GFI. So this one, we broke our previous highs here at 12.53. You can see that breakout here. And now we had a big run back up to that 200% extension. And now we're consolidating within a flag. And so watch this rising 50 SMA. If we flag right into the 50 SMA and then start to bounce, that might be an area to take the trade here. We also have a slingshot squeeze setting up, and we're back testing 50 on RSI. So for me, these are the type of trades that I like to take, the type of trades that I watch for. And we're also at that 1618 extension. So one idea I might have is to take this back through the 1618 extension, then use like these prior lows as a stop loss, or maybe even this 50 SMA, as a stop loss underneath. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. I might put a trade out idea on this. Again, it's just flagging right now. It's not breaking out. So let's just be patient and see what the market bears for us this week. But GFI is looking pretty good. Next up is Jinko Solar. Shout out to Brett, who put this back on my radar. I was watching it, but it's been in this massive consolidation, making a series of lower highs, and then also higher low, higher low, higher low. So it might be ready. I think over 57.17, it's interesting, but only interesting for me up to 66.77. That's our 618 retrace. You can see resistance here, but it back through 66.77, and then it opens up 77 and then 90 to the upside. So just keep an eye on JKS this week. Next up is LPI. This is another previous trade idea that I put out on 3.6. You can see we came into that level and failed. We came back into these to that level the last week and a half and failed. So 85.79 looks like a pretty good trigger. I would target 100 to the upside, then 116 and 138 above that. We just went back into a squeeze, and we're holding 50 on RSI. So keep a close eye on this week. LPI looks interesting. Next up is LUV. This is my second airliner ticker. I had AAL, which was at the top of the video. And so this one also, Jets have been, Jets is the ETF that monitors the airline sector. So JETS, take a look at that. And it looks pretty good right now. We broke through the 50 SMA. We broke through the swing low anchored VWAP. Actually, we gapped over both of those. And we came right up on Thursday, and stopped right at the 200 SMA. And so what I would say is you could take the trade over the 200 SMA or over 47.49, which is the 382 retracement from that swing high to that swing low. And then I think we've got some room up to 50 and then potentially up to 54, which was our 618. So that would be the trade that I would take. I'll keep a close eye on this. I'm going to set some alerts. Again, same as what I mentioned on some of those previous ideas that I didn't put a trade idea out for. If I see, some volume pre-market, then I'll definitely put a trade idea out and then we'll take it from there. But AAL and LUV are looking pretty good. And last but not least is Ulta. This is a beauty supply or beauty chain company and brick and mortar. And so we went back into a squeeze here. You can see we had a squeeze setting up back here. We fired off. It made this move here. Now we're going back into a squeeze. Back tested 50 on RSI. We had a small temporary cross under from the 50 under the 200. Quick cross back over. I usually like when that happens. Generally, you'll get a nice move to the upside, which is exactly what we got. Now we're going to watch 414. So resistance, 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 fake false breakout, and then resistance. And so we're going to keep a close eye on this. I might put a trade idea out on this on Monday or Tuesday. I'm just going to keep a close eye on it. But it is looking pretty good. Nice consolidation since August, right, in this zone right here. So definitely potential for this to move up to 436 and potentially up to 463. So thank you for spending some time with me. It's been a 10, 11 minute video. I try and keep these under 12, 13 minutes. Excuse me, just to be respectful of your time. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions on these trade ideas. And like I said, there's definitely some more ideas out there. What I want to do is be patient with the market. We tried to break higher last week and we failed, and then we just pushed back lower. So we might see another week of either sideways consolidative price action or potentially another move lower before we start to move back higher. So I just want to be cautious, which is why I'm not putting out too many trade ideas on this particular video, but the ideas are there. And so if the market cooperates, then I think we'll have some trades that we could take to the upside. So otherwise, just remain patient. The market is in a consolidative zone. We did have a nice run after FOMC a few weeks ago. And so you have to expect at least some consolidation and some pullback before potentially moving back higher. It's healthy. It's what we should expect from the market. So be safe. Enjoy your holiday to those who are celebrating. And I will catch you in the markets tomorrow.